What's up guys, welcome to A1 in a Box. Today, as you can see, we have here the Samsung S8 and the S8 Plus. In this video, I'll be giving my initial 24-hour impression and a side-by-side comparison with the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus. Since it's only been 24 hours, I can't give a full review, but I will be including this in my monthly recap in 10 days, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you won't miss that. First off, let's just start off with a quick unboxing. As you can see, the S8 is already out because I've had it for about 24 hours and I just received my S8 Plus. Since the unboxing experience is the same on both, I'll show you guys what comes with the S8 Plus when you first get it. One thing I like is how Samsung was able to keep its own packaging. Even though there are some hints of AT&T logos here and there, it's not like in previous years where AT&T completely ruins the design of the box and doesn't include what international phones usually get. When opening the box, you see a Let's Get Started guide by AT&T, and then you get the phone itself, which I got it in Orchid Gray for the S8 Plus. Lifting up the tray, you get a brand new SIM card, and I'm guessing you get the one that matches your carrier. Beneath that, you have a package type thing with a SIM card removal tool, and inside is just some paperwork from Samsung. The presentation that Samsung brought to the table looks really nice and really clean. Next up, you have a quick charge power brick, and then you have a USB adapter that can be used to transfer data using a USB flash drive. The smallest thing, but an important one, is a micro USB to USB-C adapter. If you have a favorite micro USB cable, you don't need to throw it out, and you can still use it with the newest Samsung phone. Lastly, there's a secret compartment that has a USB-C cable and some cheap headphones. Nah, I'm just kidding. Samsung actually included $100 headphones by AKG. For the first time, I'm actually excited to try out the headphones that come with a phone. Now that we got the unboxing out the way, I'll share my initial thoughts with the S8 now that I've had it for about 24 hours. Let me just say that I have all Apple stuff, from the AirPods all the way to the iMac and everything in between. Just letting you guys know so that you know what kind of perspective I'm coming from, but I will try to be as neutral and unbiased as possible. Last Samsung phone I had was the Note 4 and I liked it, but wasn't a big fan of the TouchWiz, and it wasn't as snappy as the iPhone at the time. But when I saw the design of this phone, I knew I had to at least try it out, and I was not disappointed. So let's take a look around the phone. You get a Super AMOLED display and an 8 megapixel front facing camera. On the left side, you get the volume up and down button and the Bixby button. On the back, you have a fingerprint sensor and a 12 megapixel camera. On the right side, you have your sleep wake button. On the bottom, you have a USB-C port, a headphone jack, and a speaker grill. To be honest, it was a little bit hard using this phone at first since I've been with Apple for so long and all my products are Apple, so everything is connected. But within 24 hours, I was already used to this phone and was surprised at how fast everything felt compared to the last Samsung phone, which was the Note 4. But you can't really compare those two. This one is definitely up to par with the iPhone, and in my opinion, you can't go wrong with either choosing Apple or Samsung at this point. So Samsung made a big deal about their displays, and rightfully so. The display on this thing is amazing. It looks good on TV or in pictures, but in person, this thing is crazy good looking. Apple definitely needs to deliver on the screens this year because Samsung is doing it right and will pull ahead in this category if Apple doesn't step it up. To be honest, my iPhone looks kinda outdated now with the thick bezels, and it's crazy to think like that even though it's been only less than a year since it came out. Samsung is definitely headed in the right direction with displays on phones. So on the S8, you get a 5.8 inch Super AMOLED display with a 1440 by 2960 resolution, and on the S8 Plus, you get a 6.2 inch Super AMOLED display with the same resolution. Coming from an iPhone, I forgot how customizable an Android phone is, and the S8 is no exception to that. One feature I was curious about was the virtual home button. I was definitely skeptical at first, but it works. Only problems I've had was missing it a couple times, but over time I'm sure I'll get used to it. It has a similar concept of force touch, and if you press hard on that spot, then Google Now comes up. I feel like as one of the first phones to have this style of virtual button, it's a great implementation of it. but it's not quite perfect yet. I like to have the feeling I'm clicking something, and on the S8 it just feels like a vibration instead of a clicky feel. But nonetheless, it works so far like a home button, so no complaints there. I was worried that my AirPods wouldn't work well with the S8, but surprisingly it does. When I open the charging case, it automatically connects to my S8 like it does to my iPhone. The only part that wasn't smooth was the pairing process. Obviously, it pairs flawlessly with Apple devices, but once I got past the pairing process, connecting to the AirPods every time was super easy. So let's talk Bixby. I didn't use it once in the past 24 hours, and I actually forgot it was there. I just feel like it was a waste to dedicate a whole button to Bixby, and I wish that we're able to remap that button to applications or to other functions. So while we're talking buttons, I just want to say I kept on mistakenly hit the Bixby button thinking it was the volume down button. I personally think the volume button should have been moved down just a little bit. For the fingerprint sensor, I didn't think it was too high. I actually liked the placement of it and didn't have any trouble using it. I've never had a phone with a fingerprint sensor on the back, so that was kind of weird, but it felt natural. As for other ways of unlocking the phone, such as the face detection and the iris scanner, I've had no problems so far, but we'll see after 10 days. Let's move on to the big comparison between Apple and Samsung. So as you can see, I have the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus alongside with the S8 and the S8 Plus. The S8 Plus might be a hair taller than the 7 Plus, but it's not noticeable. And the S8 is taller than the iPhone 7 as you can see. So here is the S8 and the iPhone 7. As you can see, the screen on the S8 is huge compared to the iPhone 7, but the S8 is about the same width and it's not that much taller than the iPhone 7. It just shows that removing the bezels makes a huge difference, and I hope Apple does it this year. As mentioned before, the display on the S8 is amazing, and it just makes my iPhone feel a little bit outdated. As you can see, I can touch my thumb and my middle finger on the S8, and on the iPhone 7, I can do the same thing by touching my thumb and my middle finger together. Here's the iPhone 7 Plus and the Samsung S8 Plus, and you can't see it, but the S8 Plus is more narrow. It's the same story with the comparison with the S8 and the iPhone 7, but the only difference is the grip. On the iPhone 7 Plus, I'm not able to connect my thumb and my middle finger, but on the S8 Plus, I'm able to do that quite easily. So in this video, I just wanted to compare the size and how the grip is, and I'll be coming out with other comparisons if you guys want, so if you do, make sure to comment which comparisons you guys want to see. My first impression is that Samsung really put together an amazing phone. So far, I'm really enjoying the display, and it's the reason why it's making me want to try it out even more. Apple really needs to step it up to compete with Samsung this year, in my opinion. I'll be doing more comparison videos very soon since I didn't want this video to be too long and bore you guys to death. So if you guys have any requests on which models to go head to head in whatever category, just comment down below and I'll be sure to follow up on it. I'll be testing this phone out heavily, and I'll definitely be including my review of it in my monthly recap, so make sure to subscribe so that you won't miss out on what I think after fully testing it. Thanks for watching guys, hope you guys enjoyed, until next time, peace.